encourage the players to go out there and show what they can do and go for it. Nothing negative or in any way restrained about your approach, that's for sure.
Well, we did that we did that during our 4 years at the club, but with a lot less success. There's no question. It wasn't a question of attitudes or changing. We were working just as hard during those 4 years, and in fact doing a lot of most of the same things in terms of our patterns of play and trying to get people into the right scoring positions and into the right areas. But we didn't score anywhere near as many goals during that period of time, except the first year when we had perhaps a stronger team on paper.
Yeah, it may be wrong to single anybody out, Roy, but Eze looks fantastic, doesn't he? Calls for Gareth to have a closer look at him. I mean, he's one who really has come to the fore in recent weeks. Yes,
he's been very, very good. I mean, obviously, I suppose to some extent he felt a certain affiliation when Ray and I came into the club because we brought him to the club alongside Doug Freeman, of course, identified him. We looked as well and said, yeah, we think you've spotted a good one there, Doug, and the club were able to buy him, which was probably the only serious acquisition we made during the whole of those 4 years. And I was really pleased to hook up with him again.
Yeah,
because I've always believed he's a very good player. He's got a great talent. And I suppose that in this environment with the younger players around him, and there's, we certainly have a lot more athleticism and a lot more pace in the team, perhaps than we had in my earlier spell. I think it's suiting into the ground. But I think all coaches, if they're honest, I don't think you'll find many that want to shackle their good players. Everyone wants their good players to come to the fore and do what they can do. But maybe to get that, the one thing all coaches need to do, I think, is to give players the feeling that if it's going to go wrong, it's not going to work out with them trying to do what they perhaps want to do and you're encouraging them to do, they've got to feel that you're going to support them afterwards and that they're not going to come in afterwards. In the next post-match, you're going to highlight all the mistakes they've made in the game. They've got to feel that you've got their back.
Sure.
That this is what we want you to do. This is what we think you can do. In these situations, you have got to really try and show us your skills. And if it doesn't work out, the shot goes wide, or you blaze a great chance over the crossbar, or you dribble and lose the ball and the opponent score, we're not going to come to you and say, you shouldn't do that. We're going to be consistent in our message, which is this is what you should do, this is what we think you can do, so you've got to do it to the best of your ability all the time. And the one thing
I like it.
Did you have a wry smile, Roy, when what was considered not good enough 2 years ago was considered good enough to salvage the club's decline in this season when you got the call?
Well, I didn't, that's your interpretation of what was considered not good enough 2 years ago. I mean, the fact is, every match or every year that you work at a club, you work in certain circumstances. And I've got to say that I probably am as proud, if not prouder, of that last year at Crystal Palace, where we had 29 points we had 39 points after 28 games. And were it not for the fact that...
It's very diplomatic, Roy, but we both know, as a former chairman to a manager, if someone doesn't renew your contract, this is because at that particular time they don't believe going forward it's going to be of use to them. But the point I was making, and you're being an internal diplomat, which probably is one of your greatest skills, is that there wasn't a wry smile. You were happy to go back in and help Steve out.
Yes, and what's more, I didn't want my contract renewed. I actually came to the club 3 months, I think it was, or 2.5 months, before the end of that season, and said to Steve and Doug that I would not be asking them to renew my contract because I decided at that time that the club needed something new. They needed a new voice. But our 4 years at the club, Ray and I have been very good to us, and we've really enjoyed our time there, but we thought it was time to hand the reins over. So I never had any fears about my contract not being renewed or people saying, we want to get rid of you because we don't think you're good enough.
Yeah.
I think it was the right moment to do it, and I think the club, maybe they even happily accepted that. But I mean, the point is that it was a decision that was made, which I thought was right for both parties.
But suffice to say, Roy, your reappointment, you've done precisely what I anticipated you would do. when they turned to you to get them out of this particular conundrum, whatever that conundrum was, and there was no allegation, by the way, that you aren't a very good manager, because no doubt you are. That wasn't the point I was making. But you have done precisely what I anticipated you would do, which was get the results to get Palace into a position. So well done you.
Yeah, Roy, terrific. Honestly, terrific. It's great to speak to you. You're so generous with your time as well, Roy, because I know you will have a mountain of things to do this morning. I think Palace fans are thrilled, Roy.
I'll have to sort of question that one. I don't know that I am that generous with my time when it comes to interviews. I do them all reluctantly, and I never really put myself forward. The reason I agreed to speak this morning, because I thought probably my dear pal Danny might be on the programme, and I didn't want to let him down.
Not today, Roy. Murphy's on a Wednesday.
I am not keen on talking as much. I much prefer the fact that I'm back working on a day-to-day basis, where I want to be on the training field with the players. And if you could guarantee me the same success with that, and tell me, and by the way, you won't have to do any interviews and you won't have to talk and explain anything anymore, I'll happily accept that.
We won't, because we like chatting to you. Right, well done. Keep it going. Terrific stuff, and thank you so much for joining us.
All right, Jim. All the best.
Very good. Roy Hodgson, reluctant to be in the limelight this morning, but he's doing some job at Palace. We're at 10 to 11.